amazing turnout, and I saw people leaving as I was arriving because there wasn't enough room for you all to fit in. So well done for all of you being here so quickly and organising this so fantastically well today. I'm just here with a simple message really from the Labour Party. The Tory government's plans to force all schools to become academies is a costly and unnecessary reorganisation that nobody wants and that schools don't need. And I think that's the message we've heard. We will fiercely oppose these plans as they come forward in Parliament, and at a time, as we were just hearing then from that fantastic speech, sorry I missed your name at the beginning, but what a fantastic speech, at a time when schools are facing huge challenges, falling budgets for the first time since the mid-1990s, chronic shortages of teachers that we've been highlighting recently, not enough school places, absolute chaos with our exams and assessment system, this unnecessary and unfounded distractions caused by this government will actually harm standards, not raise them in our schools, and we need to be saying that as well. To ask head teachers to actually take their focus away from meeting these challenges which they are having to deal with, and to focus on an unnecessary and unneeded reorganisation of this kind is frankly irresponsible and reckless. Absolutely. And, you know, their obsession with school structures has completely missed the point. You know, yes, there are some great academies, might not go down that well in this audience, but there are some great academies, some of your members work there, but there are some excellent and great community schools too, and there are also poor examples of both as well. So this fixation on school structures is at best a distraction. There is no evidence whatsoever that academisation in and of itself leads to school improvement. In fact, there are more in the secondary system where the majority of schools are already academies. There are more failing academies than there are non-academies. And indeed, in many parts of the country where we hear repeatedly that there is more school improvement required, many parts of the country, there already all the schools in those areas, or nearly all the schools in those areas, are already academies. What is the government school improvement plan for those areas and for those schools? They don't seem to have one. And in fact, what this reorganisation will do is take all the people who are supposed to be charged with school improvement, the DFE officials now and the local government officers who are left, the regional schools commissioners and so on, all their attention is now going to be focusing on turning schools that don't need or want it into academies instead of dealing with underperformance and where it exists. The vast majority of non-academies that are going to be affected by this policy, as you've already heard, will be primary schools. And of those primary schools that are going to be affected by this policy, should it come through, over 80% of them are already good or outstanding schools. So this policy, self-evidently, is not about school improvement. It is not about standards in our schools. It is about ideology. It is about their political project, and that's why we should be rejecting it. Rather than pitting one type of school against another type of school, the government really needs to wake up and address the issues that are facing our schools today, properly resourcing and equipping our teachers, making sure that school budgets are not falling but are rising, and making sure that schools are equipped to deal with this whole chaos that they are letting rip with Key Stage 2, Key Stage 1, GCSEs, A-levels and the rest, and all the issues that you know about. So we will seek to build an alliance against these proposals with parents, with yourselves, with teachers, with the unions, and with, I think, there will be many Tories, I know we don't really like them, but there will be many Tories who are already coming out against these plans. And you know, we've got to put parents, as your previous speaker said, we've got to put parents at the heart. The Tories are cutting parents out of the equation completely with these proposals. And we've already seen Nicky Morgan, don't feel sorry for her, getting a mauling on Mumsnet earlier this week. And I don't know if any of you saw it, but Nick Gibb had a terrible time on Newsnight last week as well, because he couldn't answer the simple question, why? Why is this necessary? He hasn't got an answer for that. And I think it's been notable how few people have come out in support of these proposals since they were announced last week. I know politics has some other things it's been concentrating on the last few days, but this is going to be the big issue of this Parliament. We're going to make it the big issue of this Parliament. Jeremy is with me, and he's going to be speaking at the conferences this week. Together we can fight these plans, together we can stop these plans. So thank you so much for your support today, and thank you for coming. Thanks.